Heatwave Part 3. 1 year later, the summer air was thick with the scent of salt and jasmine. Just like the night Elena had come back, the same beach stretched before them, waves rolling in slow and steady, the moon casting silver ribbons over the water. Elena stood barefoot in the sand, her fingers laced with Logan's as they walked along the shore. A year ago, she had been afraid of staying, afraid of what it meant to let herself love him fully. Now, she couldn't imagine leaving. He squeezed her hand, pulling her to a stop. "You remember this spot?" She turned to look at him, smiling. "Of course I do." It was where they had stood that night, where he had asked her to stay, where she had finally said yes. Logan let out a slow breath, his thumb brushing gently over her knuckles. "I have a question for you." Elena tilted her head, playful. "Oh yeah? What's that?" Instead of answering, Logan reached into his pocket and slowly lowered himself to one knee. Her breath caught. "Elena," he said, voice steady but full of emotion. "You once told me you left because you were scared. And I get it, because I've never been more scared in my life than I am right now, because I don't ever want to live another day without you." Her hand flew to her mouth, heart pounding. "I love you," he continued, eyes locked on hers. "I've loved you since the first time you walked into that bar. And I will love you for the rest of my life. So, what do you say?" He opened the small velvet box, revealing a simple, elegant diamond ring that caught the moonlight. "Will you marry me?" Tears burned in her eyes. A year ago, she would have hesitated. A year ago, she would have been too afraid to take the leap. But not now. Now, she knew exactly where she belonged. "Yes," she whispered, then laughed, shaking her head. "Yes." Logan grinned, slipping the ring onto her finger before standing and pulling her into his arms. She kissed him, laughing against his lips, her hands buried in his hair, his arms wrapped tightly around her. The waves rolled in, the warm night wrapped around them, and for the first time in her life, Elena wasn't running. She was exactly where she was meant to be,